Testosterone back for the final segment, a little game we like to call What Do You Expect? As we did that last segment, we will stick with the same format, jumping right in, Jeff. NFC and AFC East, we're going to break down here. First up, the New York Giants. I'm wearing the Kraken's jersey, the reigning Super Bowl champs. When the Giants have the ball, what do you expect?
Well, I do expect a big season out of Brandon Jacobs, and I think that he's going to want to get things going early and often here this year. He's going for a new contract, and when we find a player with the chance to show his abilities on the field and earn more dollars, we see a guy who plays extremely hungry.
Release the Kraken!
Last season we saw him get his thing on. He got a touchdown. He had his wife was in labor, having a baby. They just had their baby, so he threw the ball underneath there and did the fun celebration. He's got his wife all wrapped up, taken care of. He's got his baby now. It's time to get paid.
That's right.
And I expect that all season long. I really like the maturation process that Eli has gone through, and I think he's going to have a great chemistry with Plaxico Burress. Gone is Jeremy Shockey. In steps Kevin Boss, a nice sleeper at tight end. In deeper leagues, he's going to be the kind of guy who we're not really sure what to expect from right now. He looked good in the playoffs last year, but I'm kind of tempering my expectations for now until he proves it to me.
Sure.
The number 2 wide receiver is a little bit of a question mark right now. I know that the team likes Steve Smith. There's also Sonoris Moss kind of battling it out. Amani Toomer is still kind of old man in his way onto the field each week. And then they've got another young guy who's trying to make the team, who in their preseason game, most recent preseason game, had 3 touchdowns.
What was his name?
I can't remember his name now, but he looked really good doing it. So if he makes the team, I don't expect him to see much time except for in special teams. So I do think that they're going to have a decent go of it defending their title, but I think they're a team that could miss the playoffs with that big fat target on their back. So keep an eye on what's going on there. Losing some of the defensive players that they did is going to make things tough on them. And in the division, the Cowboys made a couple of additions on defense, so I think they're going to do a lot better job this season. Jesse, why don't you tell us what to expect when the Cowboys have the ball?
Okay, when the Cowboys have the ball, look, they're going to be explosive on offense. Terrell Owens has come out here in the past couple weeks, and he's openly questioned the game plan in their postseason loss last year to the Giants. He's saying, give me the damn ball, essentially, and that's what the club is going to do this season. T.O., he's a monster. He sleeps every night in that hyperbaric chamber. He's into his body. He is a freak of nature. Even though he's getting a little bit older, I think he's got one more season left in those legs. I expect a big year from T.O., and of course, Jason Witten will also be back in his role as Tony Romo's security blanket, which means I think Tony Romo will be dynamic as well. As long as those 3 guys continue to perform at a high level, the offensive line is going to be mowing over defenders. Marion Barber is a fantastic fantasy play. He should be taken in the first round. Cowboys offense will be explosive. Jeff, the Redskins made the playoffs last year. Their offense has gone through a major transition throughout this offseason, a coaching change. What do you expect when the Skins have the ball?
Yeah, right. Well, Jim Zorn is their head coach now. He was a pretty good quarterback in his day. I really like what he's got as far as playmaking abilities on his team, as far as talent goes. I really like what Joe Gibbs had cooking last season before he decided to retire again. But I do like Jason Campbell as far as he's a good, smart quarterback. I think he makes a pretty good sleeper because you can take him in your very last round of your draft. I do like Santana Moss to get things going. Finally, he's going to have a couple of other wide receivers on the team who can keep the double team off of him. They drafted Devin Thomas and Malcolm Kelly. I like Devin Thomas. His big playability is enormous, and as he develops in the pros, I think he's going to be a very, very good wide receiver. Of course, Chris Cooley, he's pretty much my target tight end because he's a number 1 producer at his position who you can take as the 4th or even 6th guy in the position in your draft. So he's a guy you want to target. They're going to get him the ball a lot. And then how can you argue with Clint Portis, man?
Right.
The Reverend Run or whatever, Kid Bro Sweets is going to be doing his thing in a major way for the Skins this year. I really like them, and I think that a return to the playoffs might be a little bit sketchy because the Eagles are looking really, really good right now. I like the free agency additions that they made. Jesse, what do you think when they have the ball?
Well, when the Eagles have the ball, look, it's a one-man show. Brian Westbrook is the key to this offense. He catches the ball, they move him all around, they split him out wide, they hand him the ball. he's really become one of the best playmaking running backs in the entire NFL. If your league awards extra points for receptions, I make a case in our online magazine, Adrenaline, which you can pick up at testosteronesports.com, by the way. Little shameless plug. I'm telling you, Brian Westbrook has the skills to pay the bills as the #1 overall player in a format that awards points per reception. So Brian Westbrook is the key. Now, when you look at their wide receivers, it's a little dicey. Kevin Curtis now has the hernia, so, is the rookie Jackson going to make an impact? What's Reggie Brown going to do? I don't know. I sure know Donovan McNabb has to be in the ownership's ear right now. There's a disgruntled wide receiver out in Arizona. His name's Anquan Bolden. If we get Anquan Bolden, we could make a Super Bowl run. So to watch for that development, because if Anquan Bolden lands on this team, the values all skyrocket.
Most definitely.
Switching to the AFC East, Jeff, a division that's been ruled by the Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins have always been downtrodden. They're trying to rebuild. Bill Parcells in the offseason, a new offense. What do you expect when the Finns have the ball?
Man, what do I got to do the Dolphins, man? Come
Sorry.
on. I think that they're going to suck,
Packers.
personally, man. Their defense isn't very good. I mean, Zach Thomas is gone. Now Jason Taylor is gone. And I just don't think that they're going to be able to have the stones on offense to knock down any Giants. So Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams, they're going to combine together to be a committee a la Bill Parcells, true form. I think that they might be able to find some room on the ground rushing the ball. But they don't really have any good wide receivers. And Jesse, I just don't know. I can't even name another wide receiver besides Ted Ginn Jr. on this team. Any ideas?
I mean, don't
tight end. Can you name a tight end?
Randy McMichael? No. He's gone.
Can you name another quarterback besides Chad Pennington?
Henne?
They got nobody. So just stay away from the Dolphins. When they have the ball, it's going to be 3 and out.
A lot.
So one team that's not going to be 3 and out a lot is the Patriots. Jesse, when the Patriots have the ball, I know we expect a lot. Share with everybody what that is.
Yeah, well, when the Patriots have the ball, the scoreboard absolutely lights up. Tom Brady, league MVP last year, threw 50 touchdowns. We all know Randy Moss, record-breaking season last year. Those guys are #1 at quarterback and wide receiver, respectively, in fantasy leagues, and that trend should continue. Wes Welker, proven himself as I'm getting a call right now from one of my fantasy leagues. We're running late for a draft, so we're wrapping the show up really quickly. But, Wes Welker, he's going to be doing his thing. The key to this season to me or the key question would be, what's Lawrence Maroney going to do? I was high on Maroney early on, thinking that he might really have that breakout season. Now they brought in Lamont Jordan. I've cooled a little bit on Maroney, but if Maroney gets the carries, he's going to be a stud. If you get him as your #2 back, I think you could be pleasantly surprised. Moving to the Jets, Jeff, when the Jets have the ball, they've got a new signal caller. What's that going to mean for them?
Well, they added some player in the offseason that they made a trade or something like that.
Tony Richardson?
Actually, yes, they did. In fact, they added Tony Richardson. And I do think that Tony Richardson will be a nice impact player for their rushing game. Sticking with the rush, I do like the additions of both Damian Woody and Alan Faneca. I think they're going to help the young guys, Nick Mangold at the center and DeBrickshaw Ferguson at the left tackle, help those guys to really develop. I think this could be a team that rushes the ball very well. Thomas Jones is an undervalued back still. He was able to finish the season healthy last year, led the league in attempts, and I think he's going to be able to do something else this year and that he didn't do last year, and that's be consistently high productive on the ground.
Sure.
Having Brett Favre on this team means all the world to the Jets. At Pennington just wasn't very good with that noodle arm he has. Favre isn't like that. He's going to be a great professional for this team,
right? And
it really, really skyrockets the value of Jericho Cotchery.
For sure.
Lavernius Cole's a little bit unhappy that his buddy Chad Pennington is gone.
Get over it.
The first time he gets a decent ball from Favre, that's going to end all skepticism from him.
Unless it breaks both of his hands.
I do like their rookie tight end as well, Dustin Keller. I think in the red zone he's going to do really well.
Exactly.
So when they have the ball, I expect a lot of scoring. They don't have a great defense, so I think that their games are going to be really high scoring. So I say invest in the Jets. Their offense is going to be high flying, as we've come to expect from some other teams in the same division. Now there's a team that can rival them.
Yep.
One team that's up and coming, in my opinion, is the Buffalo Bills. Jesse, they've added a couple of pieces to this team. Why don't you share with us what you think they're going to do when they have the ball?
Well, when the Bills have the ball, I expect them to be improved. Looking at Trent Edwards, this is his first full season as the starter there. I think Trent Edwards has taken some nice steps forward. He threw 2 touchdowns in their second preseason game in just over a quarter of action. He's really in a nice rhythm right now. He's finding his tight end. He's not just focusing on only one wide receiver. So I look for him to be able to get the ball down the field to Lee Evans. And the rookie wide receiver they added, James Hardy, I think he's got a legit shot to be the best rookie wide receiver of this year's crop, especially this year. In his first year, I look for Hardy to catch some touchdowns and make an impact. But look, this offense is going to go as far as Marshawn Lynch can take them. Marshawn Lynch should be a late first-round pick in your draft. If he falls to round 2, you snap him up every single time. He skated on his shenanigans and his hoodlumness from the offseason.
Didn't he hit and run?
Yeah,
he didn't skate.
He got off scot-free. I think he ran down a pedestrian and drove
a little
off.
old lady, I think.
Yeah, it was a thuggish
what
move.
A thug.
It was a thuggish move on his part, but hey, we don't care. He's on the field, so
Right.
fantasy owners should be excited to take Marshawn Lynch. Lynch is dynamic. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He runs well between the tackles. He has the speed to house it on the outside. I think a big season could be in store for this team. The key thing you want to watch here is their left tackle. His name escapes me right now, but he's a converted tight end, and he's holding out right now. I'm hearing that this could be a lengthy holdout situation, and that could downgrade their offensive line. When you miss your left tackle like that, could downgrade their offensive line a little bit until he gets into camp. But still, Buffalo improving, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this team develops. I really like Hardy as well, Jesse, and I think they have something going in there up there in Buffalo. It's going to be interesting to see how they come together as a whole. So, well,
they got a little something going on, but we got a little something going on.
We got a lot of something going on.
It's going down every Friday night, 9:30 to 10:30 on Channel 6, MCN, broadcast throughout the Twin Cities. If you've tuned in just very shortly or within the last couple minutes, you can also check out the entire show posted on our site at testosteronesports.com. Do not delay. Go to testosteronesports.com right now. Check out the Fat Chat after the site and really just taste everything that is TFS online.
Yeah, that's right. And Saturday nights is the night we do the show. We love to do it. It's a labor of love for us.
Absolutely.
As Jesse likes to say, I'm totally on board with you. We'll be here each and every week, chatting each and every week. And we just like to thank you for joining us. Preseason show number 2 is in the books, Jesse.
That's right.
Come back next week and each and every week, because if you want to win,
You must tune in
to Testosterone Fantasy Sports. Thanks again, everybody.